Hello and welcome to a screencast on MX-14 with the KDE Desktop. This is Michael Pavletich from the MEPIS Community Forums, and I'd like to show you how you can benefit from having MX-14 with the KDE Desktop, which will give you in total 3 different ways you can use your computer, maybe even 4. Let's get started then. We're looking at the K1 Desktop Manager, and from here we can click on this little arrow and choose the X-Phase session. This will bring us into the standard MX-14 XFCE 4.10 desktop. Type in my password, and straight away we get the MX-14 desktop with the taskbar down across the left hand side. So here's the taskbar across here. This thing here is called the whisker menu. Of course, this is a desktop switcher. While you can't see what's happening here, it's actually switching from the left to the right in 2 desktops. Control Center or Settings Manager, my web browser of choice. But looking at the desktop, if you've seen MX-14 before, you might be wondering what this icon here is. It resides on the desktop for KDE, but doesn't work on the desktop for XFCE. Just quickly looking at the whisker menu, click here and it opens up straight to favorites. You can populate this with anything you like. We've got recently used. You can look at all programs, or as we move over the different categories here, the programs within the categories show up on the left, and you can either click into them to open them, or you can click into here, start typing the name of the program you like to run. Example, I'd like to run Libre Office, Libre. So everything with Libre in the title or even in the description starts showing here. We've also got Calibre, which is a fantastic ebook reader and manager for the likes of your Kindle or your Kobo readers. Quickly looking at the file manager. Here's our file manager. So documents reside in here, and I've got a couple of documents in there, and pictures. The other folders are empty, so I'm not going to bother going into there. And we've got some pictures here. Let's actually open 1 or 2 of them so you can see how they open. And I've chosen to open them in GwenView. That's not the standard viewer for MX-14. The standard viewer is more like Mirage. So we can open with, and I have Mirage. So this is more like the standard viewer for MX-14. The X-Phase desktop is designed to be quick and fast, very light on resources, and you can change the pictures at will just by clicking through here. So it's designed to be light. That means the desktop elements are quite trim, and in some cases they have less features than others, but they have more than enough for the everyday user. We're going to log out because there's plenty of videos already on the virtues of the MX-14 XFCE desktop, and we're going to concentrate on KDE from now on. Here we are back again at the login screen. We'll click on here, go to the KDE Plasma workspace, which we didn't use before, and type in our password. Now as KDE loads, a bunch of services are loaded up and a splash screen is displayed. Once it's finished, it flicks across to the regular desktop. And here's the KDE desktop, which is a little bit different to the MX-14 regular XFCE desktop. The first thing you'll notice is the taskbar is no longer up on the left hand side, but it's down across the bottom. Of course, this is customizable and can be placed anywhere you want it. You'll also have seen that there were 60 updates available. We're going to ignore those for the time being and just show you the differences that you get with a KDE desktop. Let's look first at the home icon, which was on the XFCE desktop. When we click on the home icon, it takes us to the Dolphin file manager, and here we have the same files that we had before, the same folders and the documents. We've got the same documents that we had before, and we have the same pictures, and you can sort of see those pictures as we look through it. One of the best virtues of the Dolphin file manager is that you can split the screen. So let's split now, and we have the screen split in 2. Let's say you want to copy something from one place to another. Click on home here, and each of these now has its own set of controls for whatever you want to do in here. So example, I'd like to copy one of the photos into my documents folder, so I'm going to take one at random, pull it across onto the document. When I let go of my mouse, I have the options move, copy or link here. Well, I'm not going to carry on with that, but you get the idea. it makes it very easy. Now, of course, if you also have an external hard drive, example something like this, you can open this in one of the folders and you can drag things across, and that works for cameras, flash drives, and anything you might name. Back to the menu. So the menu is the KDE menu called the Kickoff Application Launcher. When we click on that, the menu is a little bit different, though it does start just as the XFCE Whisker menu does with the favorites, and the same list of favorites is there. Now each menu is independent, so what you do on this menu and the way you have this menu set up here is going to be different to the XFCE Whisker menu. Click on applications across the bottom, and of course our applications are showing. Click on internet. Now this one doesn't automatically flow through, you have to click on the icons before you can see everything that's in there. And of course you click back, so this shows you the path to wherever you happen to be, all applications and internet. There's the Office applications, there's the graphics applications, etc, etc. The computer icon here just helps you to get around your computer in the quickest way. System settings, run command, that will bring up a box down the top here where you can just run a command. Now this menu here doesn't have the option to run a command directly, and we'll show you how to do that in a few moments time. Recently used will show you things that we've recently used, recently opened, and there's a leave option, so you can log out, lock the screen, switch user, hibernate, restart, or shut down. We'll switch quickly to the next menu style, right click on here, and it doesn't look like you can switch, and that's because the applications and the widgets are locked. And here we have the unlock option, so unlock widgets. Once we unlock the widgets, we get a new option, and this is it here, switch to classic menu style. Now when we click the menu, we get a different style of menu where the focus follows the mouse as you move through the different categories in the menus, but there is no run option. Well, there is a run command here, but if you press Alt and F2 on your keyboard like this, Alt F2, you get a run command up there. And let's say I want to run Libre Office, just start typing the first parts of the name and all the options pop up below. You can click on any one you want to run and you can close it out as required. So what we've seen so far is the two different ways you can use a menu system from the regular KDE Desktop. But wait, there's more. KDE also has something called activities, and those activities are shown partly here but also here. So let's click on that and we'll see there's some activities. Now this one having an X on it is not set up. This one has got a little stop on it so you can stop the activity, etc. Same with this one, and this one's not set up. I'm going to go ahead and click on search and launch because this is one of my favorites. Now see how the whole desktop changes, and it gives you more of a tablet style interface to work with, and let's show you how that works. When we click on multimedia, see how the icons all expand out, nice big icons, and very easy to read description, well, names at least, of what the programs happen to be. You can click on back and we'll go to internet, and you'll see all the internet based programs will pop up in the menu. Graphics based programs, and you get the idea how that works. So it's actually a whole different menu system. This is customizable, and you can add and remove things to it with ease. So the first thing I'll show you is at the top here you've got some programs. Conqueror is a web-based program. Let's pop into the internet and we'll work with that directly. So Conqueror, you'll see here and you'll see here. So anything you want from these menus can be added to the top while the widgets are unlocked. When the widgets are locked, nothing can be changed. But as we can see before, that really is just a right click away. If you're like me, you prefer one of the more common browsers, so you can change whatever you want in this top bar, which is really fixed. So fixed in the sense of the icons don't change, while this whole block here, the icons change depending on which menu system you're in. So I'd like to put Google Chrome web browser or the Chromium web browser IP. Just drag it up. Here we go, the Chrome is in there. And my email, I use Thunderbird, so I'm going to drag that up there as well. I'm now going to remove Kmail, and I'm going to remove Konqueror. But let's say, for instance, there's one more thing you like to use a lot and you really don't want to have to go clicking through menus to get there. For example, I like to use GIMP, the image editor for Linux. So I pop into here, I grab the GIMP image editor. I'm going to put that on right in the middle here. And here we have the icon for GIMP is now in place. I don't want to make any further changes. I right click, I lock the widgets, and now when I move my mouse across, you'll notice there's no little minus icon up here, so there's nothing more we can do. I can't take an icon from here and drag it in, so I'm actually holding that and clicking it, but okay, it opened the program, which I didn't want to do, but that doesn't matter. And you'll notice after you open a program it drops back into the main list of programs. Well, the bookmarks that we saw before, they are pretty much keyed to the Konqueror web browser, and the contacts are pretty much keyed to the Kmail program that we used before. Now, they're both very good programs. They're just not my favorites, so I'm going to remove those. Right click, configure, search and launch. Now, you don't have to unlock this time. Just go straight to configure, search and launch. And on here where it shows the main menu, you can turn the menus on and off. I don't want to see those bookmarks or those contacts, but I'd like to see the education and let's say the utilities, because I'm kind of a utilitarian type of person. Press OK, and the menu has changed. So now we've got utilities as well as what we had before, and there's a few really neat utilities in here. A lot of these are not the standard utilities you get with MX-14. Some have been added by KDE and some have been added as my favorite programs. So it's a highly customizable desktop. Let's switch back just temporarily to the standard activity called the desktop view. Back to the desktop view, close this bar, and here we are as we were before. We're going to explore some of the programs available now with MX-14, and in particular some of the extras I have included with what I've got in my personal build. We'll go to Libre Office, and I'm just going to run the main Libre Office program itself without going straight into one of the programs within that. We can open all the programs from within LibreOffice by opening the main program interface, but one of the beauties of this program is it has little icons here for all of the most recent files, and this can populate across the page and down the page and even have a scroll bar or scroll with your mouse to find the files that you work on frequently. Very useful and very quick way of opening files. Let's go to delete me first, and we have the same text in here that we had earlier on, and you'll see by the little squiggle underneath there that it doesn't recognize any of the letters. That's because the spell checker is doing its job. Now LibreOffice is a full-featured suite. So you've got the writer, which is like Word, you've got Impress, which is like PowerPoint, you've got Calc, which is like Excel, and it doesn't have a lot of problem opening, editing and saving Microsoft Word, Excel and PowerPoint documents. And I want to show you something in particular here. At the very top, this is called deleteme.doc. It's a Word document. We can save this as two different types, and the standard files that are created with LibreOffice use LibreOffice's own file extension type. So let's go Save As, and I'm going to use the regular LibreOffice file type. So example, ODF text format, that's an open document format for text. So I'm just going to call deleteme.odt. I don't think I have to put the ODT there, I just do that as a habit. Close that, and now you see two of them. Now you notice that the LibreOffice file shows the contents in the preview, The Microsoft Office document file does not show the contents in the preview, it just shows a placeholder icon. Let's look at this from another angle. I'm going to click on Home, going to see the documents, and we're going to see the two documents, and once again we have the placeholder icon and of course the delete BODT. Now this one here being a document, I've installed Kingsoft Office, otherwise known as WPS Office, so that I can have greater compatibility with Word, Excel and PowerPoint documents. So I'm going to click it once and it opens directly in Libre Office. Look at that, there's a new version available. We can get that right now if we want to. I'm just going to cancel that for the time being, but what that does is that downloads a .deb file to your computer. We might do that later on, so I can show you exactly how to do the upgrade. So this is the same thing we had before, and of course spell check, it has to be set. The quick brown fox JMPUED. Don't know if you know, but it's actually quite difficult to try to spell with deliberate errors. Kingsoft Office has not been configured to use the spell checker correctly. It treats every word as unknown. This is a very, very simple fix. I'm just going to see if I can find it here for you right now. Tools, switch language, set spell check language. So the other thing about WPS Office is that you can switch user interface. So this one, it's got two different styles of user interface. This is a style for those people who like the good old classic 2003 style Office toolbar with all the buttons that never change. But if you're an Office 2007 or later user, you might be more accustomed to using the ribbon style. Let's save this document quickly first. Now this little icon here, Switch UI, does exactly what it says. Might not be clear at first, but we are at this point in time using the 2012 skin, so everything is wrapped around to look like the earlier versions. But we can change to the 2003 skin with the lighter theme or the darker theme. So click on this one, press OK, and the next time we open Kingsoft Writer, the changes will take effect, and this is what this little pop-up is showing here. Let's go ahead and close that, and we're going to reopen again. And here we have the exact same document with all the same messages about the updates. Cancel for the time being. Now I think we go to References, no, we go to Review, and somewhere along here, Set Spell Check Language. Click on that, and I prefer the UK style spelling, and set as default. Now you see immediately the spell check works as it should do. So the quick brown fox, right, let's see, do we have fox? Yes we do. And jumped, and yes we do, we've got that there as well. So now the spell check will work as you want it to. And the rest of the buttons on here are designed to be, in fact the whole ribbon and the whole menu system across here is designed to be next to identical to the Microsoft Word counterparts. This program also has something like 98% compatibility with the Microsoft Office document types and can be set to automatically save in the Microsoft Office document formats like DOC, XLS, PPT, and so on and so forth. We're going to close without saving now, and I'm going to look at the option to install programs without using the standard Linux repositories. So here we are back at the Dolphin file manager, and I'm going to just open the delete me document that we had open before. Kingsoft Office fires into view, and we get this message here. We press OK, and that takes us to the WPS Community Org download page. It tells us of what's new in Kingsoft Office for Linux Alpha 15, and of course the dates, etc. You can read that as you like. Scroll down here and you'll start seeing the download links. You notice there's more than one download, and you don't need to get confused about this because it's already selected the type of download we need for the operating system that we're using. And as you scroll down here, you'll see things like different language packs. Japanese, Chinese, DE, not sure which one in particular that is, and some extra fonts. What we're looking for in particular here is the DEB files. The DEB is a Debian installer files. Scrolling down here, the RPMs are the Red Hat Package Manager files. They can be made to work with MX-14, but MX-14 is a Debian based system, so whenever you want to download a file without using the regular repositories and the regular installer types for MX-14 and Debian, you must choose a DEB, and in particular for MX-14 you need the i386 DEB. There are other types like the AMD64 example. It won't work with this because this is an incompatible system with that. Right click, save link as, and it brings up the downloader. So we're going to go ahead and download that, but we're not going to put it there, we're going to put it into the downloads folder directly. And save. And here we go, 56.4 megs. I'll just pause for a second while the download completes. Our download has completed. As we can see down here, we've got the completed file. But before I run that file, I'm going to run a check on it. And this is something that I recommend everyone does with their Linux systems. And you'll notice that's under here. This is the download that we used, but it's got what's called an SHA sum. So we're going to go ahead and click into here and show in folder. What that'll do is that'll open up the Dolphin file manager, and I paused before because we've already got it open down here and we could have just clicked through. So I'm going to right click on this one and close that, and here we are at the folder that contains a downloaded file. Right click, Actions, Open Terminal here. Now I know this is the big scary terminal that most people are really not that comfortable with. But let's ignore that for the time being, because the terminal is actually one of the most useful parts of having a Linux-based system. Now, we looked before, and we could see here that this is called an SHA sum. So in here, we type SHA, press the tab, and it completes the word for us. So this means that the command is known to the system, and it completes that command. If there's more than one command, you might have to press tab a couple of times to find the options for that. Then the next thing to do is start typing the name. WPS tab fills in the rest of it. You don't have to type screeds and screeds of information with Linux. You just type the first pieces tab in the terminal and it will auto-complete the rest for you. We press enter. It looks at the signature of the file that we have downloaded. And what you need to do as a user before you go and installing software to ensure the validity of the software, you compare the checksum. This is a checksum of types with the host, in this case the website that has it, and your copy of it on your computer. And what we can see straight away is the checksum is identical. It starts with AAB2C and it finishes with 0E812. Well, you see exactly the same pattern here, AAB2C and 0E812. That means that the file is a binary identical. You have got a perfect download. If there was even one full stop out of place, the entire sum will be different. So we know that we are good to go with what we see here. Okay, we shall go ahead and close this. Make sure that the writer is not open at this point in time, and we're going to go ahead and click the DEB file. By the way, this is a single click environment, not a double click environment, so your mouse will live longer because you're not double clicking all over the show. And that opens up what's called a package installer, or the GDEBI package installer. The package installer will read through the file and then it will check to see if there's anything else that's required in order to install the file and make it work. And what we see here is the package is simply called WPS Office and it says all dependencies are satisfied. That's great. We can go ahead now and install that package. Click into here and it asks for the administrator password, which in Linux is a root password. We'll go ahead and type that in. And you can choose whether you want to save for this session, save in the keyring, etc. I'm not too bothered with that, that's your choice. And I'm quite frankly working in a virtual machine, so I've got very weak passwords in the virtual machine because my host is protecting the machine, and the virtual machine, I just want to be very quick with the passwords. It really is as simple as that. Failed to install. What was the reason? Kingsoft 9. Looks to me like I have to first of all uninstall my current version. Okay. This is actually good to see because it shows you how to handle a fault of such types. We'll go ahead and close this, and we shall now uninstall the package and go through the installation phase a second time. Thankfully, this is really easy to do. So we pop into here, which shows that we have got 60 new updates available. This is called the update notifier, and we enter the same password. The program we're going to be using is called Synaptic, and that's the program right here. We can do a search, and I think in this case we search for Kingsoft. Kingsoft, and there it is here. So what's happening here is that the package name is being changed. The package we downloaded is called WPS Office, but you see that Kingsoft Office is the package installed. That's just something that they're doing at this point in time, but once again beneficial for the sake of this tutorial. We simply click on this little icon here, and we've got the options: mark for removal or mark for complete removal. I'm just going to do a straight removal. Pop into here and apply again, and it goes ahead and removes the program. Sometimes when you're in this Synaptic program, you need to click the details icon because it looks like it's paused, or it may have crashed if you come from the Windows system. It generally doesn't crash. If you're installing software and it seems that nothing's happening for some time, expand the details window pane and you'll see what's going on here. You might be asking for a yes/no answer. Anyway, in this case, we see at the top changes applied. We can go ahead and close that and close this. Now you can't have two of the same package managers open or two programs installing and removing stuff at the same time, which is why I'm closing as I go. Pop into here, back into downloads, and let's click this again to get the installer started. And we'll go ahead and install package. Now this installation takes a little bit longer than some, and as you saw before, it was a 484 megabyte installed size for the last one that we had. You may not have seen it, but if you rewind the video you'll see that, and let's hope it's going to bring up some more details here. I'm going to go ahead and expand the terminal so you can see what's going on in the background. It's not reporting a heck of a lot, but I guess that's because it's a single binary installer. Often when there's multiple binaries, you'll see lots of things happening all at the same time. There we go. We'll close the terminal. Not responding to that. CPU is probably quite busy. We'll go ahead and close down here, and you'll see now we can reinstall the package or remove the package. When you get this, you don't have to do anything more. You can just close the package installer because the package is already installed. It says same version is already installed. Okay, go ahead and close that, and we're going to go up. We can either use the up arrow or we can use this to navigate through our file system. Back to documents, and let's open this again. Okay, so we need to download some fonts and deal with those, and that's why they made the fonts available, but you've already seen how to do that, so let's not go there right now. What that's basically saying is that the fonts for the menu systems used by this program are not all fully installed and available. But once again, the program has been updated, you've got the latest version, really is as simple as that, and there's not much more to do. And if you come from the Windows camp, the first thing you'll notice, no restarts. Restarts are next to a thing of the past. You generally don't need to do them in Linux. Since we're on the package manager and the updates, let's go ahead and show you how to do some updating. I'm not going to update the whole lot. Password in here again. But I'm going to do some selected updates. So there's some upgradable icons there. First of all, let's go to sections, and you can go through a variety of sections of programs in which you can find all sorts of items to install. Now, just to show you how wide-ranging they are, down the bottom of the screen here, 38,452 packages listed, of which 1,945 are installed. There's nothing broken, nothing to install or upgrade, and nothing to remove. I tend to like working from the status tab because my biggest use for this Synaptic Package Manager is basically for upgrades. So if you want to do everything in the simplest possible method, you click on Install and Upgradable, and you can see them. It's not necessary to see them because we can just go ahead here and mark all upgrades. But if you want to see what it's about, and you're like me, you're more of a tinkerer, you can pop through here and you can look at these things that are upgradable. Some of them won't mean a lot to you, but you notice that they're in alphabetical order, A through to here. Then you start with L, and then there's this L's for Africa. They just keep going and going and going. Well, L's are library files, generally library files. Each program has got its associated libraries that's required to run the program. Now, here's one that's very interesting, the MX Package Installer, another way to install and remove programs. And it's probably one of the recommended ways of doing it for a new person coming along. And what we see here, the installed version, this is a number for the installed version, and I'm sort of looking for the differences between this number here and this number here, and what I see is there's a +3 versus a +1. It's a very, very small download at 252 kilobytes. So if I want to select that and that alone for installation, I simply click once here and I click Mark for Upgrade. That's going to upgrade just that one program and nothing but. We'll go ahead and apply, and it tells you, gives you a summary of what needs to be done, and we'll press Apply again, and off goes the installer. Done, just like that. If you want to upgrade the whole lot, you simply go Mark All Upgrades. It'll mark them, it'll tell you what needs to be installed. These are new programs that need to be installed to support new programs, libraries, etc. that need to be installed to support the new updated programs. And here's the extras that are coming in. Righty-ho, we go ahead and mark, and we apply. But because it takes time, I will leave that for now. We'll go into something else. Quit. Yes. Let's have a look at this new MX Package Installer. Click into here, and I'm just going to type MX-. All the MX specific applications will start showing up when you do that. It really is a case of learning how to use the menu, how to use the search functions within the menu to get your way around as fast as possible. You've got a codecs installer, and codecs are for Flash Player and the likes. So if you get a message saying Flash Player needs updating, this is a place to go. Pop into here, have a quick look at that, issue the root password, and we're just going to press OK. Do you assume legal responsibility for downloading these codecs, etc., etc.? You can answer that for yourself, but I'm actually just showing you what it does. So this is just downloading this file here. It uses this command here, which finishes here, to download this Debian-based package, and it's going to install codecs for some of the restricted file types so that you can play them on your Linux system. While that's working away here, we're going to do the same search again, MX. Now, we can open the program simultaneously in this particular instance, but we can't run to install it simultaneously. So here we have a bunch of programs that can be added to your MX-14 system. This is available from the straight MX-14 download without any extras. And we have a look at Window Manager, pop into here and look at that. We've got KDE 4 Lite and KDE 4 Standard. They are grayed out. Now that's what the update has done, and I'm aware of that because I am privy to some of the developer comments. So the KDE 4 Desktop is already installed. That means I don't have to reinstall that, but that's the first step I did. to this MX-14 system, I installed KDE Standard, which brings in KDE Lite. Let's have a look at other things that we can work with. Oh, screencast. Record my desktop. Well, that's kind of what I'm doing right now, but I'm not using that program. I'm using another program called Simple Screen Recorder. What about printing? Let's say you've got an HP printer. Printing with HPs is drop dead easy. Just get this program and install it. 9 times out of 10, your printer will be detected and every function of the HP printer will be fully available for you. That's scanning, faxing, you name it, it's all there. Office-based programs. If you want to use a full Adobe Reader, there it is. You can see we've already installed Calibre, and you're starting to get the idea of how this process works. Newsreader, if you're that way inclined. Miscellaneous programs. Wine. Well, Wine is run Windows applications without a copy of Microsoft Windows. I'm going to leave you guys to investigate that for yourself, but example, if you like to run Picasa for your photos, then Picasa will run with Wine. There's no direct Picasa for Linux, but you can run the Windows installer for Picasa and thereafter the Picasa program in Linux by using a compatibility layer, and the compatibility layer is called Wine. It emulates a Windows system to a certain extent. So you can install all manner of things here. Email, well, Thunderbird's already installed because it's grayed out. And what about browsers? Well, I've got Chromium installed, but if you prefer Firefox, here's Firefox for you. What about Iceweasel? Well, Firefox and Iceweasel are very, very close to binary identical. The difference is, this is a branded product, this is an unbranded product. Really, the only thing stripped out is the branding. Other than that, it's much the same. MX-14 used to come with a browser called Koopzilla. That's actually not a bad browser. Very, very light, and it depends on your choice whether you'd like to use that or not. What about audio? You can install a variety of audio programs in here. You know, you get the idea of what it's doing. Graphics, you can see I've already installed some graphics programs in here. And you can basically select what you want to install, and then once you've got some selections made, you click install and let the process run in the background. A wonderful, simple way to quickly populate a brand new installation with a bunch of programs you already like. Codecs, okay, we've closed that and come back here. The codecs files have been downloaded and installed successfully. Great. That means I can play real player files. Probably not the videos, or all videos, but I can certainly play real player files, which I could not do before. Let's move on to Flash. MX. We now have MX Flash Manager. Click into here, because the biggest question you might get is one about Flash on Flash Player when you're on the internet. Once again, root password, and it tells us the versions that are available. So the most recent version of Adobe Flash for Linux is 11.2.202.400. We've got the minor revision 0.346 installed. So if we get a message on a web page, let's say you're using Firefox or one of the other browsers, and you get a message on a web page saying you need to update Flash, this is how you update Flash. You can update Flash here, and it will update only this Flash here. It will not update Pepper Flash. That's a whole different process. So let's go update Flash here, and we'll press OK. Now, this is a very useful tool. Do you want to update it just one time, or do you like your computer to do a daily check for Flash? I think I'll do the daily check, and press OK. And that's it. We'll leave it at that. It will do a check once a day to see if there's a new version of Flash, and if there is, it will download it for you and install it. Now about Chromium and their Flash, well, because we're using Chromium, which is a little bit different from Google Chrome, it's very much the same, but it's also different. Flash doesn't come with it. So unlike Firefox and Iceweasel, where Firefox is a full branded product and Iceweasel really only has a branding removed, Chromium is much the same, but it's got the Google brand removed, but it also has the Flash removed. So in order to update Chromium, we click into here, type the password for root, And this is a little bit different. You have to search for it. Now you can either search using this, or if like me you know the exact name of the program, you can type the program name directly. So let's show you first of all this search. What we're looking for is a program called Pepper Flash, but I'm just going to write Flash. Now we can choose to search just in the name here, or we can choose description and name. But for this one here, we're going to go name only and search. And there we have a whole bunch of things with Flash and the name of the package itself. We find immediately this one here, and this is the one that requires updating. We simply click mark for reinstallation, and it will go back and see if there's a new version of Flash available for Google Chrome. It will then download the entire Google Chrome binary, it will extract it, it will pull the Flash out of it, install the Flash only, and toss out the rest, so that the Flash in your Chromium unbranded product will work as if it was a regular Google Chrome. Thank you for watching.